Tammy Slaton, once confined to the limited mobility of a body burdened by extreme obesity, now emerges as an emblem of raw transformation and tenacious willpower. The star of TLC's hit reality series 1,000-Pound Sisters, Tammy has undergone a dramatic physical and emotional metamorphosis that leaves her nearly unrecognizable to fans who have followed her journey from day one. With over 500 pounds lost, she has not only changed her body but reshaped the narrative that once framed her life in shadows of helplessness and despair. Today, she stands not as a cautionary tale but as a vibrant testament to the human capacity for change. Tammy's journey to this point has been anything but easy. From the earliest seasons of 1,000-Pound Sisters, viewers witnessed the daily struggles she faced. Her mobility was severely limited. Her health deteriorated steadily, riddled with comorbidities ranging from diabetes to chronic respiratory issues. She required oxygen support around the clock. The tension with family members, especially her sister Amy, often took center stage as the stress of caregiving and Tammy's seeming resistance to change created emotional rifts. Audiences watched not just a body buckling under its own weight, but a soul drowning under layers of pain, trauma, and addiction. The roots of Tammy's weight struggle trace back to childhood. Trauma, food insecurity, neglect, and socioeconomic hardship all contributed to patterns of unhealthy eating and emotional dependence on food. For Tammy, food was comfort, safety, and a source of control in an otherwise unstable world. That relationship only grew more toxic as she aged. By the time she became a fixture on television screens, her weight had climbed past 700 pounds. Tammy's appearance sparked both concern and criticism from the public, and yet through it all there remained a spark, an underlying desire to live, to be better, to break free. Through multiple failed attempts to qualify for bariatric surgery, including painful setbacks due to non-compliance with prescribed diets, Tammy's turning point came during a severe health crisis. She was hospitalized after her body essentially gave out, suffering from carbon dioxide poisoning and multiple organ complications. Doctors placed her in a medically induced coma, and she came dangerously close to death. It was this near-death experience that seemed to jolt her into a new mindset. Tammy that emerged from that hospital stay was changed, not just in physical limitation but in determination. She was ready to fight for her life. With a renewed spirit, Tammy checked into an intensive rehab facility specializing in bariatric patients. She remained there for over a year. Unlike previous stints in weight loss centers, this time she committed fully. Gone were the excuses, the resistance, the cycles of blame. In their place stood a woman wholly determined to reclaim her agency. She followed meal plans, stuck to rigorous movement therapy, and worked closely with both physical and mental health professionals. She also began addressing the psychological wounds that had long contributed to her food addiction. The grief, the abuse, the depression, the self-loathing. The physical transformation that followed was stunning. Tammy began losing weight at a steady and consistent pace. As months passed, her face slimmed down, her skin hung loose from the rapid change, and her energy levels began to improve. With time, she no longer required oxygen tanks. She was able to stand, walk, and even travel short distances without assistance. The moment she qualified for surgery was documented on 1,000-Pound Sisters, and it became one of the most celebrated milestones in the show's history. The bariatric surgery went smoothly, and the weight loss continued at an even faster pace afterward. What fans saw post-surgery was someone who was not only healing physically but spiritually and emotionally. Her tone changed. Her interactions with family were more reflective, grounded, and composed. She no longer engaged in explosive arguments with Amy or ignored the pleas of her siblings. Instead, she began advocating for herself in new ways, expressing gratitude, taking accountability, and showing others what was possible through effort and perseverance. For the first time, Tammy Slaton appeared to be at peace with herself. As her body changed, so did her style. Gone were the oversized, drab garments that had long served as a shield. Tammy began experimenting with fashion. She wore shapewear, vibrant colors, and even began posting selfies online with newfound confidence. Her skin, though marked by the effects of rapid weight loss, carried a glow that had not been seen before. Her eyes sparkled with vitality, her cheekbones emerged from beneath decades of swelling, and her voice carried a power that resonated across social media platforms. The response from fans was overwhelming. Messages of support poured in. Strangers who had followed her for years now cheered her on like proud family. Even critics, once harsh and unsparing, acknowledged the sheer magnitude of her achievement. Media outlets ran before and after comparisons that left jaws dropping. But perhaps the most powerful reactions came from within the community of those battling obesity, many of whom saw in Tammy a beacon of hope. Her story was no longer one of defeat, it had become one of redemption. Tammy has also used her platform to advocate for mental health awareness, addiction recovery, and the importance of not judging someone solely by their physical appearance. She's been candid about her emotional struggles, discussing her past with remarkable honesty. She's also voiced support for others on their weight loss journey, urging patience and self-love. Her interviews often highlight the emotional toll of obesity, an area often ignored in mainstream narratives. Tammy understands that her transformation goes beyond calories and cardio. It's about healing the deep inner wounds that led her there in the first place. Through it all, 1,000-Pound Sisters has continued documenting her progress. The most recent seasons capture not only the evolution of her body but the shifting dynamics between her and her family. Amy, who also underwent surgery earlier in the series, has been both a cheerleader and a mirror. Their bond, often tested, has grown stronger as they've both matured and prioritized healing. The Slaton family, once fragmented by pain and dysfunction, now seems united in a shared purpose, celebrating Tammy's new life and continuing forward with love. Tammy has even begun exploring new avenues of independence. She's moved into her own space. She's begun dating again, this time with a deeper understanding of her worth and boundaries. Fans have speculated about her romantic life, but Tammy has remained clear that love begins within. She's learning to trust herself, and that's perhaps the most profound shift of all. Tammy's future now brims with possibilities that once seemed like unreachable dreams. She's expressed a desire to write a memoir, to launch a fashion line for people in transition, and even to speak publicly about obesity and stigma. With her growing popularity and inspirational story, it's not a stretch to imagine her becoming a motivational speaker or advocate on a national level. She's already redefined what it means to be a star, not because of drama or spectacle but because of resilience, transparency, and the courage to rise. Tammy Slaton, once confined to the limited mobility of a body burdened by extreme obesity, now